Hi, folks. Hi. Welcome. Let's bring some light airiness back to the room that NECC sits in. Welcome to twitch.tv/NECC_esports. I am joined by this lovely snowy situation here in the form of Lars Newt. He will be joining us momentarily. We had a bit of a scheduling snafu, so we will get him in. But hi, you got to deal with me for a little bit. I'm Leechy, and we are bringing this next matchup for the NECC Championships to you solo for the time being. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this matchup could be more hotly contested. We have, it's an East Champions matchup, by the way. It's Durham and St. Clair. It's going to be ridiculous. The quarterfinals, both of these teams got a bye, so they went straight into the semifinals. Durham swept Nichols, the 4th seed, 3-0. St. Clair swept Potomac State 3-0, the 3rd seed. So they went 1-1 on each other, Durham and St. Clair, in the season. I don't know, and this is such a cliche thing to say because it's so easy as casters to get hung up on like, oh, it's going to be a close matchup. Bah, bah, bah. Like, I genuinely believe this is about to be one of the closest matches that I have ever witnessed, that I have ever screamed over the top of, to your probably displeasure, and that probably one of the closest that any of you fine folks have witnessed either. So as we sit here waiting to get the teams onto the field, and hopefully my co-caster sooner or later, but it's fine because I've solo casted before. We will power through, ladies and gentlemen. We will power through. Let's go over the rosters a little bit. For St. Clair, they have Kamal, Endeavor, and Gorashi making their appearances. For St. Clair, no substitutes. Interesting situation. Typically, you would, well, I mean, maybe I would expect, not necessarily anybody else, but I would expect a team that is this good to have some kind of a backup option in case something doesn't work out. But clearly, these 3 players have been totally fine. Durham, on the other hand, as full of a roster as you could possibly get. 6 players on Durham. Drew's Clues, Vitali, Volts, Wildfire, Brooks, and Welks. We just have yet to see who is going to start out of this Durham roster. I would imagine Vitali will be one of them, just because he's so dang good. Actually, I think I've got some real-time highlighting of Excel spreadsheets in the background. Drew's Clues, Vitali, and Volts, I do believe, will be the starting roster for Durham. Vitali, I have actually gotten the pleasure of casting for and casting with. In case you guys weren't aware, Vitali also works with me over at Minor League Esports. We do the South American Grand Series, the RLCS level broadcast over there as well. Great caster, tons of energy, very Canadian, in case you weren't aware. Love him to death. Not saying that's a negative at all. He's a great guy, and so I wish him the best of luck, but no favoritism here, because I want to, if there were favoritism involved, that would mean that we would be seeing some some partiality, not impartiality, and we strive for impartiality here at the very least in the NECC talent booth. So, I did not know that, dear broadcaster. Getting some information. Hopefully, we can ask Lars about what has. We can ask Lars about what kept him up. Once we get ready here, or once we get tossed into the game. Ladies and gentlemen, how has your evening been so far? As I understand it, we had a bit of a spicy day. Oh, I got shifted over. We may be set. Hello. waiting for my buddy's camera to turn. Okay, we're gonna deal with a gray square for right now. But so far, I've been told that we have dealt with a relatively dramatic evening so far, and I think I can ask my co-caster Lars Newt about what he may expect for this coming matchup. Lars, are you there?
I am here. Unfortunately, I live alone and I have 2 dogs, and sometimes they have their own schedule, and their schedule, unfortunately, has a nasty habit of trumping my schedule. But the
Oh
only thing I
no.
have to add, I think you've done a pretty good job of covering it so far, is close matchup. I don't know what else there is to say. We're at the championship. This is where you get the best of the best. This is
Yeah.
where you get the cream of the crop. So if you don't have a close-up matchup, then something's gone terribly, terribly wrong. But I have absolute faith that it hasn't, and I'm just so excited to get rocking and rolling and on our way.
I want to ask your thoughts about this now that we can go over some stats real quick. They both swept their whatchamacallit, their semifinal opponents, and against each other they went 1-1 in league play. Have you had much experience casting either of these teams? Do you know any standout names other than Vitaly, unless you want to cover him a little bit, but other than the fact that he's Canadian, again, a highlight aspect of his play style.
Actually, no, I have not had the opportunity to see this. Actually, all the champions that we've cast or that I've had the opportunity to cast has always been West. So I'm really excited to finally get the opportunity to get into the East here for Champions Division. And I mean, I know you already covered it. We know Vitaly. We have a somewhat of a relationship with Vitaly. So obviously there is that connection there. But outside of that, like I said, this is kind of fresh for me as a caster seeing these East teams. I'm looking at their majors, and there's a lot for me to be excited about there as an engineer, as a welder. We've got 2 majors in here on the side of Durham that are welding engineering. So come on, you got Vitaly, you got welding engineering. I don't want to bring any caster bias into this, but Durham's looking kind of good in my eyes right now.
Are you a
Outside of that,
welder? I didn't know that.
as a hobby, I used to do
A
it.
hobby. Oh my god. I just melt metal together. That's fine.
Right.
As a hobby on the side. Oh lordy.
Okay.
All right. Well, as we work to get our co-cast, easy for me to say, as we work to get our co-caster into this gosh darn lobby, which I believe he's in, which means we can kick off very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Lars, game 7, because I'm doing 2 thumbs way up for game 7 right now.
Absolutely. If we don't see a game 7, it's a crying shame. I've seen so many overtimes. I know you mentioned earlier some of the South American Grand Series stuff over the weekend. I think we saw like 7 overtimes in like 10 matches. So if we don't see some more of that here, I have absolute faith that we could see that here. These are, as we could harp on again and again and again, the best teams in the East Division. They've duked it out. They're 1-1 with each other. These are even teams. These are well-matched teams, and these are highly talented, highly motivated teams. This is going to be a slugfest all the way through.
A slugfest that hopefully will get started soon. We're hearing the crowd noise around us. I wish you guys could hear that too. It's just the ambiance that I'm looking for that you guys can't get, so we have to provide it to you. I believe we're working out just some background personal stream things going on for each of these schools. But Lars, how was the dog walk? Like yeah, I'm asking you about it for real.
I have a husky. If he wants to make an appearance, Atlas.
Come here, oh, puppy.
Oh, we'll get Booger. But we'll get. Come on, guys. Booger. Let's go. But we'll get. Come on, guys. You know anything about huskies? But we'll get. You know anything about huskies? But
yes.
Push his brother out of the way.
He's like, nah. My time in the spotlight.
He was not ready to come back inside. I also, obviously, had to take a couple extra seconds to make sure I just look better than Lychee here.
I have a cat, and he's very well behaved. I don't know where he is.
Funny enough, they'll look better. I wasn't intending, so this is actually French cuff. I actually have flamingos because it was all I had on hand was the French cuff, and then flamingo cufflinks, which are actually a gift for somebody else, but it's what I had. So. Oh
Listen,
boy.
you play the hand you're dealt, and you are playing like an absolute poker master right now. So
We
I'll
do
give
what
you
we
that one.
can with what
Yeah.
we have.
Are we going to be seeing any Eye of Newt action tonight, or was this a little bit too scrambled to get that prepared?
I don't think we will.
Ah,
I will maybe in the background, maybe we'll try to sneak a little bit in here, but
okay,
there will
all
definitely
right.
be no telestration. Maybe a little bit of Ionute. We'll see. Actually, I think we actually just rolled an update to SOS plugins, so I don't think it
Oh,
works anymore
oh
because I haven't
no.
bothered to update it. But I don't know. We'll see. Only way that we find out is that if we play some of these games and if it happens to make an appearance, then it makes an appearance. I would love to bring that on screen and bring a little bit extra in-depth analysis, but I know, hey, Leechy, you and I, we've been around the block once or twice. We have been able to figure out kind of what's the term the kids are saying these days? Suss out what's going on the
Ugh.
field with and without technology, regardless of how you feel about the terminology. I think we could figure out what's happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure. I had a very slow day at work today, so my brain is just like moving at 2 miles an hour. My entire cast yesterday focused on um my favorite types of spaghetti and how quickly whales can swim, which by the way is not as fast as I thought. I stuck to my guns yesterday. I was like all about how quickly like whales are just gonna like outrun humanity. The fastest whale can only swim like 23 miles an hour, which is like supremely disappointing to find out between ad breaks. But like any true like any person who's true in his conviction, I stuck to it. So I
Well,
can't.
to be fair, 23 miles an hour is still considerably faster than any human can swim. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
been to like a swim race, and they look fast when they're in the water, and then you walk along the side of the pool, and it's like, oh, but actually,
Like,
I mean,
you're like, I could walk faster than you while eating a donut.
yeah. I mean,
So
to be fair, they're in significantly better shape because swimming is incredible exercise, and it's a
yeah.
huge challenge, and they literally blow you out of the water. But if you get a pool, you get land right there, and like you said, donuts. You don't get donuts in the pools.
Now I'm hungry. Now I'm talking about donuts again. Or again, rather. Now I'm talking about donuts. Dear Lord. I have never been happier to see the words join up appear on my screen. Ladies and gentlemen, game one, right in front of your very eyes. It is Durham. It is St. Clair. They are playing against each other. It is a best of 7, and we are getting this series underway. Durham in blue, Volts, Vitali, and Drew's Clues going up against the St. Clair trio of Kamal, Gurashi, and Endeavor. 20 seconds gone. And I want more to be gone because I just realized how hungry I am, but we won't dwell on that fact for too long. Drew's Clues rotating in, getting the touch high off the ceiling. Vitali will do the same, but horizontally. Gurashi will sneak this past the Durham defenders. 1-0 to St. Clair.
Durham started off this game so hot. They brought so much pressure down on St. Clair's net, but this one quick turn, Vitali just not able to get back to that one quite in time. There's a little physical play involved there as well. And Leechy, you know I love the physical play.
I'm a big fan, too. We can both like the same things. It's fine. It doesn't happen too often, so when you see a team implement it properly, it makes me all the more happy. Oh, Vitali being removed from this field. Gurashi has an open shot for goal number 2.
St. Clair 2 for 2 on opening up that net with first a little bit of just a nice little bump, and now a much larger one, removing Vitali from the field and giving a wide open net. And that really speaks to why that physical play is so effective and why I want to see more of it. A lot of teams wait until game 2, game 3 of a series to start saying, hey, maybe we should get a demo over here too. We're less than a minute in so far, and St. Clair is really hammering home that physical play style.
Vitali trying to carry this one, but gets sent completely across to the other side of the field. Endeavor. Decent catch, but does cede possession. 0 boost, a difficult one to commit for, and Gurashi kind of had the ball taken away from him. Volts off this side wall, trying to attack this one. Does quite well off the inside of the far post, and Vitali will make this count. Durham are back within 1.
said Vitali a lot here so far. Volts gets that pass, that dunk off there, and then Kamal just doesn't quite find the touch. Awkward read off the post allows Vitali to finish this one off. We're getting a little bit of redemption for that first goal.
1-2, Durham versus St. Clair. We knew it was going to be close. So far, is not disappointed. Oh, the squishy save from Kamal wasn't needed because Garashi stood up tall. Drews Clues, decent catch. Vitali was looking for a bump, but landed a tad too awkward to have enough momentum to make it count. Drews Clues off the sidewall. Endeavor, over to Vitali, who will head up the wall, but has the ball taken away by Garashi. Oh. Teammate to work with? No, Garashi was looking for the physical play and will get punished for it because Vitali takes advantage of the fact that nobody was back.
Oh, this is a great little turn here. Vitali just so quick to get back in this one. Endeavor a little bit behind them, and they can't quite find that U-turn quite as quickly. Able to put that one away with authority. And we are less than 2 minutes gone in game one of this best of 7, and it's already a heater.
Mathematicians will tell you that that's a goal on average every 30 seconds. And I would tend to agree because I'm not.
Mathematicians are needed to figure out that math because, as you know, caster math is not the strongest.
Nuh-uh. I have a mathematician just screaming in my ear every 10 seconds, like stats that he needs me to talk about. Vitali, the half flip, keeping it in St. Clair's corner. I'm all trying to see it clear. Garashi. Over to Vitali, who's looking for a second tap on this one off the backboard. Drews Clues will send it out to the left. And we'll cede possession now to St. Clair. Kamal, a long tap. That one actually was on target. A deceptive angle there, was eventually dropping down towards goal. And the threat isn't over quite yet. Drews Clues is up off the side wall. Vitali can't send it past Kamal. Volts will give it his attempt here. The down from opening things up temporarily. Garashi up to that halfway line. Endeavor up towards the open side of the field. It's not on target. Needs to rely on a teammate to make some kind of a final effort. Garashi kind of sort of on target, but a little bit too high.
One thing I'm seeing here out of St. Clair is they've struggled a little bit to keep this ball contained, as they're demonstrating right now, but for the most part have struggled a little bit to keep the ball contained in the offensive end and get that repeat pressure that you know that I love to see. Get that ball downfield, get a shot on net, and then get another, and hey, here's another, and hey, I heard you like shots on net, so here's another. It's a great way to open up the net, but right now we've got 11 shots out of Durham to 4 from St. Clair. Scoreline aside, this is the Durham show.
Drews Clues. Pass off that corner wall, but fairly easily seen clear by St. Clair. Clear by Clair. See how many times we say that tonight. Garashi over to Vitali. Confident catch. And sees it past 2. In fact, Volts now will take over. Drews Clues coming in. Oh, a third player. Crucial stop there by the St. Clair offender. Now, not quite over the top of it. Well, it was over the top of Endeavor, but only because Garashi called him off. Vitali, backboard pass. Drews Clues was up, but gets sent away by an excellent read by a St. Clair defender. Big fan of that kind of play style. Final 30 seconds, we're still tied up. Garashi, high off that backboard. Kamal will catch this one. Still has the ability to pass it out. We'll get a decent one, but Volts was strong at that near post to see it clear. Endeavor off the back wall, 0 boost, so Volts will look for the clearance. Dangerous shot there from Garashi. Vitali flipping over to that right side will get demoed. Endeavor with a shot on target. It's slightly high, and Drews Clues will see this out to the his left side, technically. Vitali down the field. Endeavor will drop it down. Lars, overtime in game 1. We may be in for a very long night.
Is the caster cursed or caster blessing? We talked about this as we got started, as we expect this to be a close one. We've seen tons of overtimes in the past, recent past, that is. And now, right off the bat, we've got an even matchup. Kind of two big differences in the play styles here, as there's one off the backboard. Garashi finishes this one in favor of St. Clair. 16 seconds in overtime.
Boo, I wanted this to take longer. That was a nice shot, though. That was a very good one. Just immediately up towards that ball, read it as quickly as humanly possible. St. Clair take game number 1. Lars, I don't think that means a dang thing. I think St. Clair and Durham have it all to play for. However, okay, I'm glad that the numbers popped up in front of my stupid face, because look at this. Durham, 1 save. Read and weep, ladies and gentlemen. 1 save. St. Clair had 9. And Durham had an exhausting shot total of, what is that, 13 to only 6 from St. Clair. Indicative to me, again, I'm the small brain play-by-play guy, but St. Clair doing an excellent job of soaking up the pressure from Durham like NECC sponges. I mean, it's a terrifying play style because you're dealing with all these shots coming in time and time again, but clearly they're capable.
Yeah, I alluded to it earlier as we got close to the end of this game, as we're seeing 2 hugely different play styles develop here. You have St. Clair, who is much more of a defensively minded team, putting up that big wall, and like you said, soaking up huge amounts of pressure on the side of Durham, where Durham has been extremely aggressive on offense, putting lots of shots on, but not as effective as they need to be. And on the flip side, relatively easy goals for St. Clair. They need to find a way to shore up that defense and score on the multitude of opportunities they're developing in the offensive end.
Game 2 underway. One of those 4 win ticks, crucial win ticks, going to St. Clair. Kamal. Ooh, okay. We'll pop over. Endeavor will get a decent 50. Garashi into the corner. Is up. Decent touch, but Volt's a decent enough touch for himself to send it away. Kamal. Bouncing. Durham were able to take their time on that one. And now building up some kind of a counterattack. Drew's clues. Off this back wall. Volts will charge. Vitali was waiting on the edge of the box there. Unfortunately for him, St. Clair are very capable defenders, so they will see the ball to safety as far as they're concerned. Minute gone, 0-0.
Very capable defenders, but if you allow a team to shoot enough times, they're going to find the back of the net. It does not matter who is defending that net. It could be the best defense in the world with enough shots on net. Sooner or later, they will crack. The key right now for St. Clair is to not allow Durham to continue this offensive pressure. You're allowing them to get time to figure out what works and what doesn't. So far, they haven't had a lot of success in finding out what works, but they're getting plenty of opportunities to figure out and try to crack that code to get that last little touch into the net.
Volts gets a decent win. Oh, and that 50 in the corner, a crucial 50 win. I smell a Lars Newt 50 compliment coming.
Well, you know what I think is the single most important mechanic
when
it comes to winning championships, and that is the ability to 50. 50-50s are so huge. And now Volts, having done that twice to pick up a goal here, get that pass to center for Vitali to score on these big 50s into the front of the net. If you are St. Clair, you have to figure out how to win these 50s. Look at that bump play to clear it away for Volts as Drew's clues. They will continue this offensive pressure, finally cleared away by a double commit. And that's what it takes, apparently, right now for St. Clair to win 50s on this Durham team, is to send 2 players for every 1 Durham.
Kamal. We'll let this bounce. Vitali charging on this one. I think actually got the reset, but chose not to use it. Drew's clues. Dangerous shot. Kamal up nice and high to see this one clear. Temporary double commit there on the part of St. Clair. But they will see this one wide. Vitali calculating, measuring the exact perfect time. Are you kidding me? Drops this down. A full around the world on this ball turns into the most gorgeous of passes.
Oh, wow. That's just so well read. And the bait on Kamal to get them to commit to that challenge off the wall. You know they were thinking that Vitali was going to the net on that one. This Vitali-Volts combo is deadly. And kind of like I said, you've given Durham tons of time in offense to figure out what works, and they found what works.
Imagine being good at this game. I wonder what that feels like.
Could not be me.
Couldn't be me either. Oh, Kamal, 0 boost. Sending it goalward. Oh, decent 50 there as well. below Drew's Clues, 0 boost, who will try to not successfully chase after this one. Volts just needs to direct it goalwards, but chooses to pass it high off of that backboard. May have been better suited to shoot it on target, but what do I know? I'm just the caster. Kamal over to Garashi. It's a demo on Drew's Clues. Temporary man advantage for St. Clair. Kamal can't do it by himself. Drew's Clues standing up tall. Oh, Vitali slightly wide, and Kamal will pop this up for a self-clearance. Drew's Clues across the right side of the pitch. Garashi will stop that passing opportunity before it has a chance to develop. Bolts. Can't get that bump there. Laura's right. Your favorite point of this mark, favorite point of every match is that 90-second mark. Durham holding on to the 2-goal lead.
2 goals, not quite as much as I would like to see, because as you know, 2 goals becomes a 1-goal lead very, very quickly, and a 1-goal lead just isn't secure. It might as well, I shouldn't say might as well, but it's close enough to 0. I'd like to see 3. 3 goals is where you really, really have that advantage, that room to breathe. And I do have to ask, as the clock ticks off here, is that Kamal also using an alpha boost?
No. Someone in chat could call me an idiot. I don't think so. I don't hear it. It doesn't sound like an alpha. Oh, I know Vitali is. All right, whatever. We'll talk about this later. He might be. Bolts. Oh, great 50 for St. Clair. Vitali needs to jump up super high to get this one clear. Drew's Clues, awkward situation, but manages to pinch it down, keep the momentum going in favor of Durham. Endeavor. Oh, hands out one to Volts. It's off the inside of the post. Almost made it 3. Almost gave you that exact lead you were looking for, but no, off the crossbar. The save, it's bouncing on the line. Okay, come on, will make this one count. 17 seconds. St. Clair are within touching distance of blah, blah, blah. Bringing game number 2 back.
Oh my goodness, Vitali with an enormous save on the goal line, but it just throws everybody out of commission. It puts everybody in an awkward spot, and it's going to be St. Clair to clean it up before they can get it clear. So close, but so far to getting that one free. And now with 10 seconds remaining, a double demo with a big opportunity, but Drew's Clues has a huge challenge, avoids the physical play to get that one clear. Ball loose in the corner, clock ticking down through the final seconds, and Durham looks to have this one under control. One last opportunity, but Vitali puts that one down. We are 1-1 in this series.
Oh, it's going to be a long night. Ooh, it's going to be a long night. I love it. Ooh. 1-1 Durham. Also, allegedly, Kamal is using a yellow standard boost. Vitali's the only one using the alpha boost. Thank you, Golden 31902. The first 31,901 were taken. Durham making the shots count a lot more than game 1. I mean, St. Clair were firing on all cylinders defensively in game 1, but you can't deny that that Durham was a little bit more efficient with their shooting. Yes, they still only managed 2 goals, but maybe it was that they cleaned up the defense a little bit more. Who knows?
They did a little bit better on defense. They held St. Clair to that same 5 shots on net. I think actually it's 1 less than they had in game number 1 here. They a little fewer shots on net themselves, but like you said, just a little more efficient in how they did that. It put St. Clair on the back foot and made them feel just a little bit uncomfortable for a lot of this game. They just didn't have an answer for whatever Durham had going on. And yes, Durham, not quite as many goals as maybe you would have liked to have seen for that level of pressure. But at the end of the day, they prevent St. Clair from getting any real effort down the other way.
Game 3 is upon us, and we need to see if this is a game plan that, that honestly either of these teams can keep up with. It does take a ton of focus, ton of concentration, ton of dedication to implement those game plans and make them work for the entire length of a series. And that's just for a best of 5, let alone a best of 7 in a grand finals. But you could probably argue that these teams, what a save from Vitali. You could probably argue that these teams are in the grand finals for a reason. So far be it for me to suggest that they aren't capable of it. What a pass from Vitali. But unfortunate, Volts couldn't quite see that one on target.
Well, so far we talked, we talked a little bit about, as we look like we may be getting a restart here on the match for server issues. And Lichi got to call you out a little bit. You said, there's no way There's no way that we're going to get any kind of server issues. We're going to be able to just sit in the same lobby. We don't have to worry about it. But as the players leave this match, we will be looking for a server reset to try to get this one back underway. Quick context on the Alpha Boost comment. For those of you that do not know, Alpha Boost was only available to people that were in the closed alpha of this game and have since become quite the rare commodity, and the value of them has skyrocketed. I think the last time I checked, $8,000 for Alpha Boost. Vitaly out here representing that. $8,000.
I knew they were expensive, but
I happen to know that's not what Vitaly paid for it. He paid less.
I'm sure.
It's an investment at this point. It's an investment, but it is absurd because it's such a commodity. It's such a small thing, but that's why it's of significance to us here and why it's something worth questioning. But you mentioned earlier, can we see these strategies hold out throughout the entire series? And I'm going to go with no. No, we can't. Part of the reason these players are here at this level, they're this effective, is because of their ability to adapt and overcome, to see what their opponents are doing, adapt to it, and then find a way to overcome that and push the ball back into their opponent's net. Right now, it's one thing to be able to say, hey, we've got something that works, and if it's still working, keep doing it, but just be very ready to jump to the next thing as soon as it stops working.
Would like to say it was our doofus broadcaster that said we could just sit in the same one. I was the one that went with the contingency plan, and guess what?
You are right.
Here we are. True. So, I'm 5 years old, so you times infinity. We're waiting for the team. Oh my god. Oh, on TV. Snap out of it. We are. Yes, it is, and I will accept that. Waiting for your teams to join up. Yeah, unfortunately, I think someone on Durham was having issues actually seeing. Maybe they had some kind of a black screen issue. So, in the interest of fairness, that call for a reset did happen before the goal. You guys probably saw at least 2 players completely stopped playing. So that is one of the things that makes it count, and it happened before the 30-second mark in the match. So totally legal to get the restart. It looks like we've got the players in here, and we are awaiting the kickoff of Game 3 at any minute. Lars, we were talking about whether we think that the game plans can last the whole series. I would tend to agree with you. I don't think they can. I think they will try their hardest to make it last, but I think you're right. I think eventually the wear and tear, mental wear and tear, is going to get to you. And as I expect this series to go to Game 7, I think they are going to have to definitely strip things down to the bare, basics of Rocket League and just rely on pure out and out speed.
Out and out speed. Well, I caution that. I'm going to throw back to the thing that we saw over the weekend with the South American RLCS Grand Series, which is we had Erased, which is an up-and-coming team down in South America, find their way all the way to the grand finals versus Furia, who is one of the top 2 teams in the region. They had lost to Furia earlier in the day, but they had beaten True Neutral, the #1 team in South America, with a strategy of all-out speed and aggression. They just fly to the ball so fast. They're so aggressive. But at the end of the day, they came up against Furia, a team that does everything well. Whatever you can do, they can match it and add in a little bit of spice to turn it back on its head. And they just couldn't use that strategy of speed and aggression to overcome a team that can adapt. That being said, speed aggression can be very effective at throwing people's rotations off, getting them uncomfortable, not giving them room to breathe to make the plays they want. If you don't have a team that can adapt to that kind of play style, then absolutely go for it. Get up in your opponent's face. I will always, always, always advocate not giving your opponent an ounce of breathing room.
Yes, but I feel like then you also need to be really careful that you're not putting yourself too out of position with that, the fast play and the aggressive play. And maybe I sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I feel like I'm just trying to I don't know, not flip flop, but I'm trying to find what my true opinion is here.
Get all the information. Give everybody a fair take into what works and what doesn't. I get you, Leechy. You're not of weak spine. You're just trying to make sure everybody's included.
I'm a mediator. That's what I know. I very often tell people they shouldn't be lawyers. You should be a lawyer. That was very good. Okay. Still working out some details in the background. But Saint I almost said Saint Durham. Saint Clair versus Durham. Game 3, we're just waiting for these players to hop onto the field, working out some back end rules. Don't really know where to go from here.
I've got it.
Okay, please.
Let me take over for you here.
This is why you're a professional.
So we talked about how speed and aggression can be effective and how it can win games. The answer to that is that ability to vary speed, that ability to get that fast and then throw on the brakes. It will be interesting to see as time goes on. Best of 7. I expect to see all 7. We got 5 minutes on the clock of game number 2. We are underway. Game number 3. Game number 3. Wow. You can only be right for so long, you know?
I call conspiracy. I think our producer started the game exactly the moment after he saw that I was floundering for content, just to make Leachy look bad. And I'm sticking to my guns on that one. Game 3, Durham in blue, St. Clair. I don't accept your apology in the background. Durham in blue, St. Clair in orange. Let's get this going. 30 seconds gone. Oh, Kamal! Slightly high off of that crossbar. And Dever couldn't find the follow-up, so Vitaly will charge out. Decent 50. Beating Garashi. Vitaly waiting for this to come down onto his nose and pops this vaguely towards target. Kamal out to the right side. Not the worst play either. Knew that the ball really wasn't going to develop into anything useful if the momentum was continued straight forward. So you might as well just knock it to the side and see if you can't get a passing play going. And I feel like that's an underutilized strategy, maybe in the lower ranks. I feel like maybe it's expected up here in the champions ranks. But listen, the ball doesn't always need to go forwards. If it's very clear that you're just going to be running into a brick wall, take it backwards, take it to the side, try something new. What a flip reset from Endeavor, and uses it to actually uses the fact that he got one to full advantage, but never wound up using the actual reset.
This is why I love the flip reset shot, and using it as a pass as well is also extremely effective and a ton of fun to watch. But it's why I love it is because it gives you options, and especially you can see Vitaly coming off that side wall. Off the side wall, you have to commit to an altitude, as Drew's Clues almost gets one here. You have to commit to an altitude. You have to pick where you're going to cross the front of the net, and Endeavor takes advantage of that fact. They say if Vitaly goes low, I can hit this flip reset. If they go high, I can just keep this one low. It's hugely effective. It's the mind games you need to play at this kind of level.
In the corner, Drew's Clues with a flick opportunity. Won't beat the first man in the form of Garashi. Open shot opportunity. Almost gets the dunk on target as well. Kamal coming in. That one is on target. 2-0 to St. Clair.
When you can find the corner like that, you are absolutely deadly. Volts tries to get that one clear. Garashi follows through to dunk that one down to the middle, leaves Vitaly all by their lonesome with an entire net to defend. It's hard to remember how big that net is until you see it from that third person. You're not actually sitting and defending. It's very difficult to cover the entire thing. And Garashi proving why you follow through on every single touch.
Endeavor also at the last minute backflipped out of the way to make sure that his partner shot went on target. Volts ensuring this one goes on target with a beautiful pass over to Vitaly coming off the wall. It's just absolutely flawless. What a shot.
Wow. This Volts Vitaly combination is deadly. I like to see what Durham College is bringing to this team. Volts with an open opportunity gets the flick, but it's a little bit too high. They can't find a way to tie this one back up just yet. But as I was saying, Durham College almost gets beat in the back end, but it goes wide as all 3 players on the side of St. Clair don't find the touch. It's a quick turnaround. Volts off the pass from Vitaly ties this one up.
What do you know? It's even. What a pop over there from Vitaly. Volts just beautifully positioned. No one was there, so this one is probably as free of a goal as you're going to get at this skill level. And, yeah, does super well with it. Halftime, it's 2-2. Stop me if you heard this one before. Oh, Kamal! Volts had fully stopped moving because he thought that was a guaranteed goal, as did I. And it just didn't play out that way. Interesting that St. Clair couldn't find the target there. Maybe feeling a little bit of Unnecessary pressure. What a bump there from Volts. Vitaly couldn't score, and now Kamal has a free shot but gets demoed by Vitaly as he rushes back just in time. Lights out Rocket League here. There's still 2 minutes left.
It is a track meet up and down the field, back and forth. One-off opportunities met by a quick transition back the other way for its own one-off opportunity. Garashi waits back at the back post, is able to touch that one away, but the pressure continues. Drew's Clues just puts that one wide on a huge passing opportunity from Vitaly. I was trying to say, before we got interrupted by action, and more action, the things that Durham College are doing well is this Vitaly Volts connection is so consistent, and they so love to get it back and forth. Another opportunity, and Drew's Clues in the defensive end, so quick to challenge, so quick to get in the face of St. Clair, makes it suffocating to play against. A very dangerous combination.
Great pass from Vitaly to Drew's Clues, who did wind up getting that final touch. Endeavor will see this one out halfway up the pitch. Drew's Clues up high. Kamal, decent 50 there. Vitaly, now Volts on the right side of the box. Good 50. Kamal will have to chase this back into his own corner. Clears it mid. Dangerous, especially when Vitaly's the one jumping up to take advantage of that slight mistouch. Oh, using the ramp. Volts knew that the ball was going to roll out to him. Just couldn't find that final shot past the defenders. Down yet again. Endeavor over the top of him. Drew's Clues for Durham, looking to build this attack, but Endeavor stops the momentum and actually sends it back down the other way. Volts straight into Endeavor. Ooh, miss clear. Vitaly needs to handle this carefully. Flip reset. Doesn't use it. Hands it to a teammate there. Drew's Clues out of the corner wall. Taking closer and closer to overtime, lest St. Clair can change that fact. That one is on target. Drew's Clues, crucial save on the goal line. It's not done quite yet. Endeavor wants this one to be ended in regulation. Drew's Clues will bring it down overtime in game number 3.
Very smart, very smart play out of Drew's Clues there to play that one down. They were on the back foot. They were scrambled on defense. They didn't have a great opportunity as Vitaly fakes that one low and almost finds a way to make the connection to end this one early in overtime yet again, but it's just touched away. I'm saying Drew's Clues taking advantage of the awareness of the field and the positioning. On the other side of the ball, though, right now, the deadly combo, the physical play is just so excellent out of St. Clair. It's very tough to play a team that can manage position and rotation so well to use physical play and not be out of position.
Kamal, ooh, dangerous pinch on that top ramp there. Almost fell beautifully down for Durham to take advantage. We'll get clear eventually. Vitaly over to Volts, drops it down. It was never in doubt with that pass. The slightest of touch hands game 3 Durham's way.
I love this communication here. You can see Volts coming up. Do I back pass? Nope. Vitaly says, nope, you go to net. I will get you that ball. And that he does. That is touched easily in for Durham. They find a way to take the lead in the series after dropping game number 1. And shocker, it comes on yet another Vitaly Volts combination.
Yeah, weird how that works. It's like the good players continue to be good. Drew's Clues rocking that season 11 grand champion, one of the OGs around here. Wow, I'm looking now at the numbers, and there's not too much to separate these two teams. Shot total wasn't too far off. Save total was identical. Only difference was Durham shot a couple more times, and Durham scored one more goal, and that's exactly what we've been consistently talking about, Lars. If you outshoot your opponent, the stats lean towards probably giving you the win.
Probably. No guarantees. We've seen craziness. I mean, even game number 1 was Durham putting tons and tons of shots on net, but St. Clair using that physical play to find a way to take advantage of it. And that's something Durham, it's an interesting distribution of skills. You've got Drew's Clues that is fast, that is diving on these balls and is so aggressive. Then you have Vitaly, obviously, huge mechanics, great control, and Volts slotting in right in between. But then on the other side of the ball, you have St. Clair, who has a very even skill distribution, and it makes them a solid, consistent team. And one of the things I say always wins championships is consistency. We'll see if this kind of hodgepodge of skill on the side of Durham College is able to beat a consistent, almost identical 3-man squad on the side of St. Clair.
Can't wait to see it play out. Game 4 underway. Barashi. Powerful shot, but relatively simple save for Volts in the end. Oh, patient play. Will go for this all by himself, but Garashi standing up tall to keep this one out. Drew's Clues can't sink this one under the post. Doesn't need to. Going for the physical play, but the shot never came in. Nothing to take advantage of there. Ball in the corner. Seen out by St. Clair. Kamal straight down the field. They're going to get this one for free. 1-0 to St. Clair, courtesy of Kamal.
Unfortunate for Durham College, but it happens. Kamal is able to find a way to send this one all the way downfield, and it's an important lesson when it comes to Rocket League is center passes work both ways. It doesn't matter where on the field you are. That one all the way down on St. Clair's goal line, and they find a way to turn it into a goal.
Endeavor for the pass. Vitali, confident clearance. Ooh, Kamal. Dicey touch there. Vitali will take it away. 3v2 in favor of Durham. Vitali, shot on target. Kamal, decent save. Volts will send it back mid yet again, but Drewskuz can't get there in time. Garashi taking it away from Drewskuz. Vitali, great low shot there. Drew takes it away from Volts off of the underside of the crossbar. This one's off of the backboard. Drewskuz will get the demo, or will receive the demo, rather. Drew patiently catching this one. 90 seconds gone, Lars. I still don't think there's too much to separate these two teams. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, absolutely. These are even teams. We saw, I don't want to call it a freak goal, but just a Endeavor. Well positioned at the top of the box there and finds a way to put it at the top of the net as Vitali makes a kind of an awkward clear and allows that one to just drive right home.
Well placed as well. Volts, unfortunate situation to be in, had 0 boost to get there, so just needed to wait until the last possible second to get up there, and you can't quite cover the entire frame of the goal with 0 boost. So unfortunate. St. Clair now take this 2-goal lead, and this is probably one of the, a 2-goal lead in a series that's this close, I would say is simultaneously confident, because all of these games have ended by 1 goal, and at the same time, not confident at all because there's still over half of this game left. Durham could swing this completely back in their favor. You feel like it's only a matter of time.
All these games have ended within 1 goal, and they've all had a 2-0 scoreline, but Volt is able to bring this within 1 goal like we talked about.
Funny how that happens. Is this a caster's blessing? Does that count?
Depends on who you root for.
I get, yeah. Very, very true. I will keep my mouth shut and just say 2-1 St. Clair. Still holding this lead. Durham able to pull one back. Drew's Clues. Massive backward pass. Everyone in St. Clair trying to reorganize themselves on the defensive rotation. Great touch there by Kamal. This one's on target. Vitali will send it into the corner. And actually effectively beats one as well. This one's open if Volts can get some power on it. Even more open now that Vitali got the touch, but is bouncing on the goal line. Drew's Clues will see this one in.
Well, we talked about how St. Clair gets everybody involved. This is a way to do it. Vitali with the demo, Volts with the double touch to the goal line, and Drew's Clues, like we've talked about, diving in to be that cleanup savior. 2-2, over 2 minutes remaining. We are not done with the scoring in game number 4.
Vitali, trying to do something real fancy. It's like a solo dribble dunk play in midair. Didn't quite work out for him. Drew, ball taken away from him. Barashi, decent mid pass. Volts will get this one clear, only as far as Kamal. Super high, has a flip to work with, but Drew, excellently done. Pre-jumped that, knew that the player was probably going to go for something slow, so just got to the ball in time to see it clear from danger. Vitali past Garashi, not past Endeavor, but Endeavor couldn't squeeze it inside of that right side post. Scoreline still 2-2. Volts kind of heels planted on the ground will finally get this one clear, and now Durham will look to build some kind of an attack here. Don't think it'll last too long as Endeavor is looking to clear this one out from his own field. Garashi stuck on the ground yet again. This is the clearance, and Vitali will take advantage.
I had a lot to say about Vitali a second ago, but here with the thing we're going to note is this passing play. Drew's clues to Volts to Vitali off that back wall. I love that back wall because it does exactly what you just saw there. You attack it enough, and eventually you draw those defenders away from the front of the net and give it just wide open to that last attacker. And now Durham College has the lead.
Oh, super dangerous. Durham could make it forward. No, that is technically an own goal. Vitali will get credit for this, but you do not ever want to see touches like that.
Volts. I think it was an unintentional touch back out. They wanted that one to sit in front of the net, but it works to their advantage as that last returning defender wasn't expecting it to be thrown right at them. Vitali secures, but Volts really responsible for making sure that happens.
A 4-2 lead for Durham. Now, we're at the stage of a game where a 2-goal lead in as close of a series as this has been is actually quite confident because now the opposing team has about 30 seconds to do anything about it. What an interesting pass from Endeavor and a great save from Vitali as well. Both of these teams showing up tonight. This is the exact level of Rocket League that you want to see week to week throughout league play out of teams in the champion division. But man, I mean, if ever a team was going to show up, it is right here, right now in the grand finals. And Durham, sure as heck, came to play. Unless a miracle happens here, which it will not, they will come away with the Game 4 victory. St. Clair's backs are well and truly against the wall from here on out.
I have bad news, Alici. That last save, that wasn't Vitali. That was Garashi. They had that beautiful opportunity in front of that, and maybe forced a little bit by Vitali and that presence, and Garashi felt obligated to try to do something to beat that ball into the net. But they end up doinking it high and throwing it off that backboard. A heartbreaker that would have brought it within just inside grasp to be able to bring this one back. But Durham, like you said, now on match point, have St. Clair against the wall, and a little bit of breathing room. St. Clair needs to win 2 in a row to be able to walk away with the grand final victory here. Durham, on the other end, can afford, as much as they wouldn't want to drop a game for some unfortunate circumstance and still be able to come out on top.
They can afford to drop. Now that you definitely, I mean, you don't want to drop 1 game, but you definitely don't want to drop 2 games. But they can, and that is the thing about being up this far in a best-of-7 series. You really have some cushion to work with, and I expect Durham to use it to the best of their ability. And I also expect St. Clair to put up a tooth and nails fight as we get game number 5 underway. I would say maybe the momentum is with Durham, but I feel like calling it this early would be a fool's errand.
No, we have the potential for plenty of Rocket League left to play. We've seen just absolute magic out of St. Clair, but that's not magical. A team bump right there. Perhaps communication starting to dwindle a little bit as the elephant in the room starts to make its presence known with this current score line, and St. Clair feeling the pressure of being down on match point here.
Vitali sends us into the corner. Gets away with that errant touch because Kamal couldn't quite read it. Not his fault. Dangerous bounce. Cruz Cruz. Only as far as Kamal. Endeavor will turn, excuse me. Garashi, the only one back on defense. Dangerous spot to be in, but handles it expertly. They're at this level of play for a reason. Drew's Clues, waiting for this. Oh, on the ball, gets bumped out. It's the daylight's bumped out of him. 0 boost as well. Endeavor, interesting backflip pass. I don't think that was the wrong idea, just had a little bit too much sauce on that ball. Knocked it over his teammate. Just under, rather, 90 seconds gone. And the slowest game we've seen so far.
which is crazy because they're
I
getting a
know.
good pace back and forth, and there's an opportunity just off the crossbar and back out, but they're not getting some contained, sustained offensive pressure. We've seen this ball at most, one look on the net, and then it's right back down to the other end of the field, getting good bumps, but I want to see some midfield presence. I want to see shots on net followed up by a midfield contained, some quick challenges, some good 50s to not allow these plays to so quickly transition back and forth up and down the field.
Drew. Good pass over to Volts. Just didn't quite have the angle to make that one work. Kamal. Zero boost. Not a super confident clear. It's Drew's clues. Oh my word. What a follow-up on this touch.
That's an unfortunate little touch there. Kamal not quite able to find it, but that recovery from Drew's clues is absolutely beautiful. And I've said it before, I will say it again. That is why you need to follow every single one of your touches.
Durham. The Rocket League mastery right now. Endeavor waiting patiently, looking for that low 50. Did win it, but unfortunately for him, Durham won enough time to get teammates back in position. Endeavor, tough situation. Drew will drop this one slowly down, and Kamal will see this clear. Over the top of one as well. Temporary advantage positionally for St. Clair. That one is on target. Decent save from Drew. Drew's clues now trying to pinch this one out. Volt hands it to Vitali to see this one clear. Dropping down very quickly. Volts couldn't get that touch. Drew's clues will. I believe that one is on target. Kamal needs to stand up tall and will get... Drew's clues will let Volts get this touch, and Kamal getting a decent 50, but it's not enough to stop the power of Vitali coming in. Drew's clues, no, the follow-up. Volts will send it wide. 1-0 for Durham. It's the only scoring we've seen, but if things don't change, it may be the only scoring that Durham needs to use to put this series in the bag.
Well, we've seen a 2-goal lead evaporate in no time flat. A 1-goal lead, it just doesn't give me that warm, fuzzy feeling that we know how this one's going to end. We've seen players like Kamal and Endeavor, excuse me, and Garashi make just huge plays. Solo plays the offensive end as Kamal barely touches that one down and away. Not the greatest clear, but it will be followed up by Endeavor, who has an opportunity down the field, one-on-one, needs one to beat. Look for that bump on Vitali. Doesn't quite find it. Does get the demo eventually, but it dissolves that offensive opportunity. They couldn't just make it happen.
Endeavor showed his hand a little bit too early with that flick, and now Durham looking to punish him for not taking advantage of that chance. 60 seconds. Garashi can't get it past the Durham defender. Endeavor. Oh, a great flip cancel there for Drew's clues, getting the speed and able to use the boost as well to get to that ball just in time to see it clear. 40 seconds, counting down. Vitali may just have sealed this one with this second goal for Durham.
It's a good read, taking advantage of the feels flip from Kamal. Garashi just spawning in awkwardly, and Endeavor over-rotating, abandoning that back post, leaving all three players out in the corner. Vitali well placed. I feel obligated to revisit Drew's clues challenge from earlier because it's a brand new way to challenge the ball that I've never seen before.
I mean, yeah, I feel like...
I mean, not the time with 25 seconds remaining on the clock and potentially the end of St. Clair's run, but that's the thing that gets me excited about Rocket League. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. We can talk about that later. Final 15 seconds, Vitali coming in. Garashi, strong save. And a great pass over there as well to Endeavor, but Drew's clues is going to take a nice sharp angle to see this one. Honestly, didn't even need to score, just needs to burn time off of the clock. This one is done and dusted. Kamal will get a fancy touch here for the insurance goal, but it will not matter because Durham are the ones with the lead at the end of Game 5, and that means Durham are your East Champion Division champions.
Honestly, a little bit surprised that we didn't see this one all the way through Game 7, but Durham comes in as the #1 seed, and they leave as the #1 champion in the East Champions Division. What a showing out of these teams. What a play. St. Clair has nothing to hang their head about because they played excellent. It's just Durham came out with a little bit better showing today, and honestly, you take this same matchup on another day, and I think we could see this go the other way.
100%. I am super. I'm happy that Durham was able to take the win. I am a little bit disappointed that, well, disappointed, but I would actually say more surprised that St. Clair was only able to get one game off of Durham, given how close this entire series was. We only saw 5 games in it. I mean, we were a single game away from a sweep. We weren't too, distant from that. Durham, I guess, just showing that little extra bit of consistency is what you need to put these championship matches to bed. And I guess they had it, and St. Clair didn't quite.
Well, as we get moving on here, we are going to be looking to take a short air break, and then we will be right back. Make sure, as we have more Rocket League action coming up for you here tonight. We are not done. We'll be right back after this short intermission. Stick around.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides. Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have our follow-up interview for this East Champions Division. What a match that was. I am Lars Newt, and joining me here instead of Leachy is Jacob Van Ryn. And as we get the players and the coach in, unfortunately, we do not have Volt. Volt's had to go to work. I think it's actually a little bit late because they needed to come out here and win this championship, and I think a worthwhile endeavor.
Yeah, they were terrific tonight. Congratulations to Durham. I thought St. Clair played great, but Durham just a little bit too much tonight.
Well, we are joined in the casting booth by Ben, the coach for Durham College, and Drew's Clues and Vitaly. Just right off the bat, I guess I'll start with the coach because we get to see and hear the players a lot. Thoughts, questions, concerns, comments, hopes, and/or dreams here on this series.
I mean, it was awesome to watch them. Great to see them complete the back-to-back, finish the dream, take both championships from the season. But I mean, yeah, it was great. We got off to a bit of a slow start in game one. And I mean, even game 2 and 3, I think we were down 2-0 at one point in each of those games. So good to see the boys not give up on those ones, pull them back, and then, kind of power through the rest of the series.
Yeah, the mental fortitude so very strong with these players and the ability to take that disadvantaged position and run with it and not let it get to them to be able to consistently come out and do that. So, Vitaly, what are your thoughts on dropping game number 1 and then playing from behind in a few of these games in the series?
I mean, realistically, we knew that coming into this, St. Clair was a solid team. They took a series off of us before, right? Coming into this one, it was a different roster, but we knew that they were going to bring it from the start. There was a couple of iffy things that happened on their part. They probably could have been up a couple more goals in the other games, but we just fought back. We had to stay strong. And realistically, this is a roster that doesn't play together very often, so we kind of had to figure out ourselves as well, rotation wise. So after we kind of figured it out, we kind of clamped things down, and we saw how it went from game 3 and on.
Okay, well, obviously we saw that you guys finally got that rotation down. You got very settled. I want to touch on Drew's Clues here real quick. Drew, when you started this series, you were kind of more of a defensive player. You spent a little more time in the defensive end, and to great effect, keeping that ball out of the net. But as time went on, especially into that final game, you started to bring in the offense, bring that pressure forward. Was that a shift in how comfortable you were with the rotations in your teammates, or was that just kind of the natural flow of the game? You said, hey, Volts, Vitaly, you've had your fun. Now it's my turn.
Oh, for sure. Like Vitaly said, this isn't a roster that usually plays together. They gave me the opportunity to play with them. I'm usually the sub for the team. Wildfire is actually on the main roster, but for this league, they gave me the opportunity to play and prove that we can be the best, even with our sub, and we did that. So I'm very happy. But yes, that is exactly what happened. I had to play a little bit more of a defensive role because I was figuring out what Volt and Vitaly wanted out of me. And as time went on, I was able to get a goal here and there, and we figured it out pretty fast in the later games. So,
all right. Well, I have one more question here before I throw this one over to Jacob, and I relinquish control of everything I have to say here, and that is Vitaly. Obviously, we talked about you guys having all that offensive fun. Vitaly Volts, that combo was magical. How often do you guys just settle on these passing plays? And kind of a secondary part of that question is, what's the comms like, especially that last touch where Volts coming out of the corner, peels off, goes to the front of the net, and you get that beautiful pass for that last little finish, if you happen to remember that specific goal?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on a team for almost a year now. This has been a team for a while. And we've always pulled out those little solo plays, those little passing plays, out of the corner or whatever. We just kind of know where each other are at some points in the play in the field. So having the ability to just kind of know where your teammate is, and especially having the faith that he does in me, just finding each other on like little plays like that in the offensive zone is huge as well, because it gives me the freedom and the ability to kind of do whatever I want mechanically and kind of throw the ball in front, and he's going to be there to clean it up. So it's really nice having a teammate like that, just being able to clear everything up that I do. That's really dumb.
Well, I appreciate the insight. I'm going to throw it over to Jacob and see if he has any questions, concerns, comments, hopes, and/or dreams, and then we will appreciate your time, and we'll get on out of here.
No, guys, we've done this before. You're familiar with this. Congratulations. The first team ever to repeat as NECC champions. We're thrilled and proud of you guys, and no surprise, obviously. Thrilled for you, and we'll get this up to you as soon as possible. But once again, congratulations on another NECC title. Awesome to watch you guys. I thought St. Clair was great tonight, but certainly you guys were the superior squad, and we're thrilled to present that to you. And congratulations on another NECC title.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
We're
very
excited
much.
to have the twin titles next to each other.
Well, we're thrilled to send it up to you, and we look forward to next fall certainly as well. Guys, congratulations. Enjoy the evening, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Being the start of a dynasty. But I would like to say thank you as well to the players for taking the time to A, win, and B, come out here and talk to us. That is it for me tonight, but that's not it for NECC and Rocket League action. We've got the West Champions Division, UAH, University of Alabama, Huntsville versus Lincoln Land. That is going to be an absolute banger of a match. Now, that is the side that I am more familiar with, and all of these players are absolutely incredible. Stick around. We will be right back.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.